Hi there, Trish Triumpho Sullivan here, and I wanted to talk to you just briefly about watercolor painting. Just a few basic things as we get started with this. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is to remind you about doing your blind contour drawings. So by now you should have a small sketchbook. It could be something like this size, right? If this is about the size of my hand. This is the size I prefer. Something like this that has some pages in it, that's a little bit larger, and I can use this to do my daily blind contour drawings. You should be doing those every single day, 5 minutes per day, and I want to see you guys' work, right? So you need to hand that in so I can see that you're actually doing one a day, okay? Get in the habit of doing it maybe even the same time every day. Maybe you do it on your lunch break, or you do it in the morning when you get up, or you do it in the evening. But try to make that 5 minutes per day. Set your phone timer so that you can have that time set aside. But this is also where you should be taking notes. Okay, so take little notes in here as you're watching the lectures, and do some diagrams and stuff, and some drawings and doodles as to what I'm talking about here, so you have things to look back on and remember. Okay, so watercolor painting. So with watercolors, you guys, less is more. And I'm writing this down slowly and carefully because this is so important. You need to leave a lot of white space on your paintings. That's where it's showing reflected light, or light hitting your subject. So you need to make sure you have that. Remember, the white in your painting, anything that's white is the paper. So if it's white, it's the paper underneath. So you have to leave plenty of paper showing in order for your painting to look realistic and not to look really dark and muddy. We tend to have, as artists, we tend to have this, we tend to have a tendency, I guess, to cover every surface with paint. And that's why it looks dull, flat, and unattractive. And then we wonder why our paintings don't look great. Well, because we didn't bother to mask the areas that we need to leave white. So you must be aware in advance of where to mask. Masking is the most important thing to make sure that you leave enough white in order to show, so mask or masking, in order to show where the light is and to leave that space. So you're constantly thinking of the positive, negative, right, of your painting. So you can think about where that light goes, and you have to mask in advance. What do you use to mask? Well, we talked about this earlier. Whoops. A crayon. A crayon works good. A white crayon, right? White crayon. Rubber cement, or another masking. There's actually masking liquid you can buy. It's expensive, right? That's why I said rubber cement. You can get it pretty much anywhere, and it's, only a couple of bucks. So you can use crayon, you can use rubber cement, or you can use painter's tape. Make sure you're getting painter's tape, okay? Do not get regular masking tape. Painter's tape will come off without tearing your paper, whereas regular masking tape can absolutely ruin your paper. It can rip up your paper and mess it up. So just remember, painting is all about light. Just like seeing, right? We can't see without light. We can't see when it's dark. So in order to describe that three-dimensional quality in your painting, showing the light and showing the shadow is incredibly important. And of course, the in between, the colors and the shapes of colors. But painting is all about light. So it's just like seeing. We can't see when it's dark, but the light reveals the areas of our painting and the subject that we want the viewer to see. We want the viewer to focus on. Our eyes automatically go to the brightest part of the painting. So when we're looking, and so I want you guys to really look online and look at some different paintings and see where the light is, and understand that you have to leave a lot of white space on your composition, on your painting, your paper. So it's all about light, where the light's hitting, and where it's not hitting. So the presence and absence of light are the most important things in your painting. And that's the very basics, okay? So just remember that when you're composing, that you really need to mask off the areas that we need to leave white so that the paper is showing through, right? We'll see you next lecture.